Okay, so it's Friday, and it is the 10th of July. So, moon's in Taurus all day long. Shane here, dailyastrocat.com. So, look, we've got Venus in Virgo, and we've welcome to another very Venus day. Okay? Got a green shirt on, right? It does things, right? Virgo ascendant. Anyway, look. We have the moon void of course and Venus ruled Taurus. Okay, that's cool, right? So it's void of course at 6:13, and it's going to enter Gemini 12 hours later. So we've got a day of void of course moon energy in Taurus, okay? So the moon is exalted in Taurus. So there's not much you can do whatever you want with this, right? Because it's a very Venus day. What is Venus in Virgo want? Oh, we want some details, right? Those details. Yes, let's explain things. Let's talk about these things, okay? Look, Venus is conjunct with Chiron, okay? So we've got the moon, void of course in Venus ruled Taurus, conjunct with Chiron. The moon is sextile Mercury at the void of course, and then square Venus at 9:05 p.m. Now, that's an interesting thing. The moon in the sign where the moon is exalted is square Venus. So with Venus, though, Venus is a benefic, so the squares are never that challenging, right? They're not as challenging as they could be. They're kind of helpful, and so this is going to help our mood for the day start to get into the weekend, because what we're really working towards is what's coming, right? The new moon in Cancer. So look, think of it this way. Think of this as a dance, and you feel the rhythm, right? And you're going to set the tempo for the entire day. So you're dancing, and you're going to set the tempo for today. Now, it isn't a great day for new ventures, but it is a day to get in touch with what this dance means to you and how we can move through the day in accordance with Mercury retrograde energies. Okay, so do the review. Look, you want to review the week. That's what you really want to do. You just want to do the review. It's not a dance. It could be, do the review. Okay. So, and position heading into the next week. Okay. So basically you're just taking this and you're moving with it, you're grooving with it, and we're going to decide how we're going to head into next week. With that being said, look at the numbers and see what you need to do to improve. Right? That's Venus in Virgo. That's in a nutshell, right? We're looking at numbers. We're doing things like that. And our keyword is attraction. Now, how are we attracting? Well, the color is moss agate. So this week is the lead up to a new moon in Cancer. Emotions have been running high. Oh boy, have they ever. And we've seen outpourings of joy and grief surrounding the World Cup, among other things, right? Now, some expressions of outrage and outright disgust, too. Seen that too, right? Especially around that event. Now, we have seen the same on the global stage as well. Oh boy, have we, right? Now, changes are waiting in the wings as the old, stale, dry tropes are brought out like clowns in a circus. A distraction for the acts that are going to follow, right? They're setting something up behind the clowns. They're out there making their moves, right? Are you one of those waiting? Or have you been able to tap into your own intuition? Okay, so are you waiting in the wings, or are you already tapped into it so you know where you're going? Those who have done so will see what is coming next week. Next week, there are some big changes coming our way, right? We've got some changes that are in the wings, and they're going to happen, and they've already been confirmed, so particularly for this guy, but, hey, I'm just hoping for it's coming true for some of you too, right? So, now, ask yourself, is what you think is coming next week, is it yet another positive step into greater personal abundance? And if so, are you ready for it? I was born ready, right? That's the way I look at it, right? I'm just like, Aries sun, of course I'm ready. Virgo ascendant, yeah, pretty good. And if not, I can wing it. That's the way they always think, right? Gemini's out there, I'm looking at you. Okay, so Once the moon enters Gemini, we activate Mercury, and Mercury in Cancer will be impacting both Venus and Mars. And this is why we suddenly shift our focal points from that quiet intuition into what is going to drive us. That's right. Now, the lead planet is Venus. She is perfectly positioned to use Gemini's mutable energy, the communication, the curiosity, and the brilliance for enhancing our magnetic appeal and backing up Leo bluster with detailed facts and data. Okay, so keep that in mind. Mars in Gemini is acting instinctively and knows where to roll, who to call, and what needs to be done. This triggers that mini creative grand trine that creates growth-oriented opportunities that will they're going to seem almost as if they were predestined. Maybe they are. Now, there's nothing new here. However, this is what we've been working on and working towards all along since last April when we had those eclipses. So think about that. We're going to revisit a few older themes. That's right, pre-Mercury retrograde themes. Tomorrow especially. At some point tomorrow, we're going to revisit some of those. And you're going to hear some familiar things that I've been talking about before that may not be top of the list right now, because we've been concerned about the Mercury retrograde, the Cancer season, and just that lead up to it. And then we had we have that Jupiter in Leo, we had Venus in Leo, and then exiting Leo. So that made things kind of a little intense. And now we're able to get to the point where we're going to be able to look at these things and plan how we're going to move ahead. So get your things in order early, not to lose time to the retrograde, because you're going to have to repeat stuff, right? The retrograde just makes it more difficult to communicate. Kind of like this, right? Now, this is how we begin to use our evolved powers of attraction. Evolved powers because we left that Leo, look at me, and the presentation outwardly, and now we're presenting from our heads and our intuition. We're uniting the two so that it's less about the outward appearance, but it's more about the inward, the inner strength, and what we're finding inside and how we're communicating that to the world in general. And that's what you do as an artist, right? You're using your own creativity to be able to put it out there so that people can enjoy it and see life from different facets, from different aspects and everything like that, right? So we're going to end it right there. So in 1937, the Belgian Romani French jazz guitarist Django Reinhardt, his Quintet du Hot Club debuts at La Grosse Pomme nightclub in Montmartre, Paris. And that's what you got. And our birth is none other than Nikola Tesla. Born in 1856. He was born in Serbia. He's a Serbian-American physicist, electrical engineer, and inventor who developed alternating current and the Tesla coil. He's born in Smiljan, and that is in the Austrian Empire at the time, and it's now in Croatia. And that is all I have for you. I'd like to thank everybody for joining me. Look, this stuff is going to get intense. It sounds intense tonight because it is. All right, or today. I recorded this tonight at night, but this day is it's a good day for us to be able to get in touch with everything, because we've got that positive. There's a lot of positive energy there, and there's a lot of different ideas that are going to be bopping around. Especially as we approach Gemini with that moon void, of course, in Taurus. So I appreciate and love every single one of you. Please, please, please hit the website. Go there. Take a look at it. While you're there, sign up for the email. I will be doing. Now, I haven't been good at them. I'm going to admit that, but I will be doing one for the Leo season. We're probably going to include some of the Lionsgate stuff in there too, because, you didn't know that? Yes, indeed. We do have some of that, and that's going to be a big focus on tomorrow. So let's sum it up, shall we? Today's keyword is attraction, and the color is moss agate. And today is a 5. Happy astrocatting.